All right, we're going to jump in. This is going to be videoed, and anyone who has signed up, you will receive a recording. So even if you're not able to stay the whole time, we hope you can. You will receive this recording as well. So today we are looking at the 5 essentials of a high-performing practice website. I have with me today Graham, and I'll introduce myself. I'm Rebecca Shade. I'm your solutions consultant for Remedy Connect and going to help walk through some website solutions today.
Hi, I'm Graham Doherty. I'm the director of all of Remedy Connect. I've been here for over 10 years now and love my job.
I love it. I would say the whole Remedy team loves what they do, and we love the solutions that we can help bring to your practices to help you grow. So just quick housekeeping here. Everyone is muted, so you don't have to worry if things are going on in the background. We can't hear you, so that's great. But we do want to hear from you in the questions box. You'll notice in your go-to panel, there is a place where you can put questions. If we have time during the webinar, we'll try to answer those, but we'll also have a question and answer time at the end. So we hope you can stick around for that part. Today we're going to cover quite a few items, but we're going to really focus on 5 top things. I'm really excited to share how your website can be one of your most powerful tools for growing your pediatric practice. I've been working with pediatricians about 18 years, and time and again, we have seen the difference it makes when someone has a well-performing website. So whether you're in a busy metro area, a smaller town in the country, the digital landscape is the great equalizer here to show if you show up well for your community. To stand out online, your website needs to nail these 5 essentials, and we're going to break them down and what it means. We do build this into every website we create. So we're going to look at website content, your performance and optimization, user-friendly interface that really helps you to keep it up to date on a regular basis, secure and reliable hosting, very key, and AI visibility. Why does online visibility matter? Well, I think you know because you're here today, you're interested, you know that this is key, but today's parents are going to Google you first. They don't always scroll far on that page. You may have noticed that search has changed. So Google does use AI. Often when you do a search, it's going to say AI summary at the top or a version of those words. And that information is coming in from many places. We'll look a little deeper, but it is coming in from your website, the content you have there, from your Google reviews, from your social media, if you have YouTube videos. So it's pulling from multiple platforms to do one full summary for those that are searching. If your online presence isn't clear, isn't strong, you might not be seen by your target audience, which are those parents, the parents that are getting ready to welcome a new child into their family, and those that might have multiple children and have moved and are just looking for a new pediatrician. We know that about 78% of parents are going to look to your social media before choosing a pediatrician. So this is a really key aspect of what we're going to dive into as well. Most are going to Google you. They're going to look at that whole presence and everything you represent. But we know as providers, you're influencers already. People do look to you for answers. The relationship is long in peds. You're going to be with these families 18, 30 years, multi-generational probably in many of your practices. And we want to come alongside and help boost your visibility. One of those key areas is your website content. It is key because Google does look through it, and we're going to look at a website as an example today to look at some key things that are seen here. We did a whole webinar just on website content. If you're interested in Seeing that, we can also pull that for you. Just let us know in the survey at the end that you're interested and we'll send that link to you. But here I want to look first at easy navigation. So you can see as we scroll across the top, that's your navigation. It's how your sitemap is set up, the pages underneath. But we want it to be very clear, not too busy. We want a clear direction of where you want your parents going. 5 to 6 navigational tabs are really great. And then we can help you with this, but decide what content fits best under each navigational tab. You'll notice under our tabs, like new patients, we have a lot of content that is pre-written for you. We know Peds well. We have built more pediatric websites than any company in the US. We have a lot of great analytics to look at, so we know where parents are clicking, how they're searching, what's important to them. So even though we have a lot of pages with pre-written content, it's all editable. So you go in and make it your own. Maybe for your practice, you actually go through and you go to the hospital to meet your newborns. Maybe you use a hospitalist. Here you can put all that information in, but you can also give clarity to those new parents who might not have enough sleep. They're wondering what next steps are and what they need to bring to their first visit, how soon they need to book it. Here we have also built into our websites, accordions. That is easy for Google to take the content for schema, and you'll see later as well that the content is broken down very easily for it to come up in those AI summaries because of how we write this content. Another key place is our medical content. Everything under medical content, we provide information from the AAP. We have over 1,000 articles, so lots of great content. We have Dr. Bart Schmidt, Is Your Child Sick? That mirrors the symptom checker you see here to the left. We also have medicine dosages clicked on all the time so that people can hopefully not wake your doctors up at 3 a.m. to find out how much Tylenol to give their kiddo. It's there on your website. We want those frequently asked questions to be found easily on your site. We also, on that website content webinar I dive a little deeper into all of the medical. When we click back to our home page, you'll see here at the very top, well, on every page, even your subpages, we have very clear CTAs or calls to action. Really throughout your website, this is key. We want to lead the parents in the direction we find most important. So if getting paid, which I know is important, you want to increase revenue is important, then pay my bill should be at the top. Your patient portal for secure messaging, communicating with your patients, that is so key that your portal is listed there. Make it easy for your parents when they log into your site. They immediately see the key items that you wish them to click on for quick communication. So we do that on most pages. Even before you come to the fold, before you start scrolling, there'll be key things to look at. But here as we go down the page, we're highlighting some of that medical content because we do want them to go there first. Thank you for sharing all of that, Graham. One more thing, it's not listed here, it's more on the reviews, but you want NAP consistency. So I don't mean taking a nap. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number, and we want to confirm that all of that is consistent. There's over 60 directories. Within those directories, we make sure that it is the same. So kind of like the old yellow pages was before, if your information in one directory is different from another, that is not good because Google can't recommend you as a good answer if the information is inconsistent. So we check that every month, make sure that those directories are updated. Very important across the board, and new directories are added. We're going to look at a really quick poll and just see where you guys are at today. So I'm going to launch this poll. It really helps us to get your feedback so that we can see where your practice is at. So how old is your website? Is it less than a year, 1 to 2 years old, 3 to 5 years, or sadly, dinosaurs were around when my website was built. We're going to give you just a few moments. This truly helps us as well to know how to proceed with some of our information.
Yep, we've got answers coming in.
About 10 more seconds. Okay.
Perfect. So ironically enough, it looks like almost 62% say that their website is between 3 and 5 years. And I'm happy to hear that, because you actually want to plan a full redesign of your website every 2 to 3 years. So, think of your website like a digital storefront. It should always feel current, trustworthy, and easy to use. More often than not, your website is your first impression of your business. Redesigning it every 2 to 3 years ensures it's not just good looking, but also functional, strategic, and growth focused. If it's not mobile responsive or loads slowly, another good reason to redesign. A few others are if your competitors' sites look and work better. Even if you don't fully redesign your website, we highly recommend regularly updating content, which is blogs, images, news, those types of things, refreshing the homepage visuals and messaging, and making sure that you're checking for broken links and outdated info. You always want to run speed and SEO audits every 6 to 12 months as well to make sure your website is performing from a search engine optimization perspective. There's a lot of free tools out there that you can check and give you kind of a full report of your website. So thank you for everybody answering that question. We're going to move into kind of what's important about a website. I know Rebecca had mentioned the kind of 5 pillars there. One of them being, web security and reliability. So why is that important? Well, they're critical for websites because they directly affect the trust that you have with your patients and parents. It also improves search engine rankings and also helps with business continuity. So anytime your website is down, that's every minute you're passing by, you got a potential loss for new patients that could be coming to your website and ultimately choosing your practice. It reassures patients and parents that your site is safe to use. And more than likely, I don't know if you've been like me, but I've come to a website where it says this is not secure, and I definitely press back and I go on to the next website because I don't want any of my data or anything getting intercepted. Google favors secure and reliable websites. If it's HTTPS SSL certified, which all of our websites are, they have a reliable performance, so they rank better with Google. Downtime or slow loading can negatively actually impact SEO. So a reliable website means it loads properly, stays online, and functions without bugs or downtime. I don't know how many people on this call today know that OP has recently moved to a new content management system called Duda. We chose Duda for a multitude of different reasons, and I'll be going into kind of some of those reasons throughout our presentation today. So how do we make our websites secure, and how do we make sure our websites are reliable? Well, the platform that your website would be built on with us, it has a modern infrastructure, it's automated security features, and performance boosting technologies that help protect users and visitors. So here are just some of the few breakdowns of what we do. So we provide an SSL certificate for every single one of our sites. All of our websites are hosted in a secure cloud and hosting environment in AWS, which is one of the most secure and reliable cloud platforms in the world. This ensures high uptime, scalability, and fast delivery with built-in redundancy. We also provide automatic backups and version control. So every once in a while, a Duda will create a backup of your website, and you can always revert to that backup and that version if something were to go wrong with the design or functionality of your website. So that's always a possibility, and we always create a backup at the end of the design process as well, so we can always go back to square one if we need to. So this protects against accidental changes or data loss, giving peace to, the users that we have. Next, platform level security and maintenance. We are in charge of making sure security patches, updates, and server management are all handled by us, so that's not something that you guys have to worry about. Next, we've got reliable uptime and monitoring. We have a 99.9% enterprise grade uptime. So your website is up 99.9+% all the time. We also have real-time monitoring and alerting that ensures issues are detected and resolved quickly. Next, no third-party plugin risk. So unlike platforms like WordPress, our platform doesn't rely on third-party plugins for core functionality. So what this does is reduce the risk of malicious code, plugin vulnerabilities, and or version conflicts. Lastly, but not least, we provide accessibility compliance tools. So we have built-in tools into our platform that help your websites become ADA compliant. Obviously, this helps with ensuring legal compliance inclusivity, which also contributes to a secure user experience. Next, definitely want to cover the user-friendly interface of our application. So our editor is powerful and intuitive and flexible, a tool designed to help practices create, update, and maintain professional responsive websites without even needing to know code at all. So just a few things here before I kind of go into a live demo of how easy it is to update and maintain your website, which is critical as you do not want to become a static website. Google does reward you from an SEO perspective to log in, make changes to your website, and Google bots are constantly crawling your website to look for new and updated content. So the more often than not that you update your website, even small changes, shows Google that you're interacting with your website and that you are going to show up above and beyond your competitors who are static websites. So the main points we've got here, we've got an easy click to edit interface. We have responsive design controls. We have a multilingual site support, and you have a live preview and publishing section of your website to see what it looks like before you publish. So now I'm going to switch over and show you kind of just a demo site of what your website backend would look like. Let me refresh real quick. Oh, should have done this earlier, sorry. I knew it was going to log me out. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is the back end of a demo website that we've created. And it even showed me that I've added recent languages to my site. I added Spanish. And so it does give you kind of pop-ups and windows to help you actually navigate through your own website and how to fix them. Now, let's say I wanted to easily update just the primary photo on my website. It's as simple as clicking the box where the photo is, and you'll see here's the image. Well, I could actually change it to a video or just a plain color, but all I want to do is replace the image with a new background. So when I click on replace, I have a multitude of different options here that I could choose from. I could also do full view. Our platform actually has free images as well that you could choose from. So a very large library of free images that you could go in here and search. And let's go in here and type in kid and see what we can get. Here's a fun one. I'm going to select this one. And look, it's as easy as that. It took me less than 2 seconds to change the photo. All I would need to do to watch this go live is hit the republish button, and in 5 seconds, it's live on the internet. I can also preview what the site will look like before I even click republish to make sure it's the way I want it to be. The other nice part is I can actually look at, oh, okay, what's it gonna look like on a tablet? What's it gonna look like on a phone? Very it did everything responsive for me. We will go into responsiveness later, but I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that you can make sure that the website's going to look good on all devices right out of the gate. So again, click to edit. Here's the welcome message, quick, short, and easy. But if I double click in the box, you can see I can go ahead and update this message at any time. Updating now, and click the check mark and republish, and we're done. The one last section that I wanted to show, because I know that this is important for a lot of our clients, is adding, updating, or editing a provider. So we all know that every practice has providers. So I'm going to navigate down to the About Us section where the providers are, and then click on the Our Providers button. You'll see here there's 4 providers listed. They're all obviously fake providers that I added in. But if you wanted to add or edit or delete a provider, you would come to this page and what we call connected data or collections of data. So we click on the collections of data, and again, Duda is telling me that I can be doing these things a lot easier or doing them differently, and they're giving me helpful tips. This happens all the time. Here you can see the 4 providers that are listed. I can look at them or I can edit them. So let's say Dr. Steve Smith wants to update his bio. I'm going to click the little pencil icon, and I literally could walk through this wizard and show exactly what I want to update, whether it's his title, location, maybe he has a new specialty, his bio, and meta description, which is helpful for SEO. We added a few other categories in here that aren't necessary, but if they do meet your standards, then you can add them there. We also have a section for a booking link. So if you have ZocDoc or any other booking appointment section, you can add it there. And I can also update his image as well if it had changed. Now, there's a lot of other, obviously a ton of pages on your website, but more often than not, you can just literally come into any of those pages and, like I said, click to edit. So come in here, double click, you have access to all the text here. You can add text boxes, you can edit the accordion menus. You basically have full access to your website. You can change pictures. Even changing images helps from an SEO perspective as well. So you can see how easy it is to use. It's very well laid out on the left-hand side with all the things that you can do. And we really enjoy it, and we've had really good feedback from our clients on how well it is for yourself even to make edits. All right, coming back to the presentation. Next, I'm going to talk about mobile optimization and why it's so important. So all of our websites are automatically optimized for mobile devices. You saw there in the preview that you can see what it looks like before it even goes live. But that's providing a seamless user experience. And we also reduce any unnecessary elements and scripts so that the website loads faster on mobile phones. If your website isn't optimized for mobile today, you're not only missing out on traffic, but you're also losing credibility with your patients and parents, your SEO rankings, and even potential revenue. Today, mobile optimization isn't optional, it's actually a fundamental requirement. So mobile traffic obviously dominates. I don't know about you, but I use my mobile phone for literally everything. So a very high percentage of your web traffic is going to be coming from mobile devices. We also use a what's called built-in CDN, which is a content delivery network. So we use a global CDN that's powered by Amazon CloudFront to deliver site content from servers that are closest to the user, so in their physical environment. This significantly actually reduces load times, especially on mobile networks, as it's easier to gather that data from a closer server than one that is further away. Obviously, user experience is huge. If a mobile site isn't easy to navigate or read and interact on smartphones and tablets, you're going to lose a significant amount of your audience. Big thing about search optimization, Google uses mobile first indexing. What that means is they are actually looking at your website from a mobile perspective first to rank your website. So it's become more important to Google that your website performs on a mobile device better than it does on a desktop. So obviously, if it's not mobile responsive, it's gonna affect your search rankings. Mobile optimization also includes faster loading times. So what we do is we optimize images, reduce scripts, and make responsive layouts, improve mobile performance, which is key to engaging users. It's also helpful from a brand reputation perspective. A clunky mobile experience makes a site, and by extension, your brand, feel kind of outdated or untrustworthy. So how do we tackle the mobile responsiveness? Our platform is specifically designated to make your website mobile friendly. There's no coding involved. The way it's designed is going to make sure it's fully optimized from any device's perspective. And these are the things that kind of make that happen. So mobile specific editing. It's very easy and flexible by allowing you to customize how your website looks on a mobile device without it actually affecting what it looks like on a desktop. So when you're in the mobile view, you can make changes that only apply to the mobile site, not the desktop site. So it can resize fonts and images, it can adjust spacing and padding, it can change alignment, hide or show elements. So hide elements like if you had a video or a big banner image, you can hide those so it can decrease the load time. And you can also rearrange sections so it looks better as it's compacted down. We have click to call and tap actions. So you can make sure to tap to call the office, to email, open maps and directions, and even use SMS texting as well. Core Web Vitals and Lighthouse integration. Google Lighthouse is their kind of open sourced tool for measuring how your website performs. It audits things such as performance, SEO, accessibility, and best practices. So what we have is built-in Lighthouse scoring. So you're able to actually see the Lighthouse score within our platform. You can run reports on any page real time. And then again, as you've seen in Duda, they give you performance suggestions inside the editor to help make your website even that much faster. You saw the preview and testing tools, so you can see what it looks like on each device and test to see it actually works. And no code mobile optimization. So you're not having to deal with any code. It's just literally click, edit, publish. All right, we've got our next poll question here. Do you know how your website performs today? Wow. I'm getting a lot of yeses. I'm proud of you guys.
We'll give one more minute here.
Yeah, usually a lot of people don't. I'm very surprised. Happily surprised though.
Yeah.
All right. We came up with 62% of you know how your website is performing today.
Wow.
Maybe that's because you're a client of ours and we help you with that. I'm hoping. 29% said kinda and 10% say I have no clue. Well, that 10%, I would love to help you out by understanding, getting you a better understanding of how your website is performing today, and I'm sure Rebecca would too.
Yeah.
All right, how we boost performance. So we currently have 376 clients and growing in our new Duda platform, and all of them fall with a 98% core website vitals pass rate. As you can see here, studies have showed that a good combined pass rate is in the 75% percentile. So we're blowing that out of the waters by 23%. So it's basically driving this brand new Ferrari, which I wish I had, versus this jalopy that you've got down here. sense to anybody who has a jalopy. All right, website performance. Let's talk about it. Page speed is critical for both user experience and SEO. As I'm sure you've experienced just like me, slow websites are frustrating. They lead to higher bounce rates, so people leaving your website before they even engage with it. And as we've mentioned, can hurt search engine optimization. We at OP challenge or take this challenge head on with an infrastructure to design, deliver fast loading, high performing websites from the start. With features like streamlined code, server-side rendering, built-in caching, we simplify the process of meeting Google's core website vital standards. So your website, when you build it with us, loads quickly on all devices, which is obviously enhances user satisfaction and gets them to return to your website, which is the goal. So we've got a few things here. I'll just touch on them briefly. Faster load time equals happier users. Delays can cause frustration. As again mentioned about the bounce rate, you want to make sure that website visitors don't just come to your website so slow that they go right back out and maybe go down to your competitor. And then usability, so making sure it's responsive and smooth and easy to navigate. We touched on Google SEO ranking, how it can affect that, and mobile users, and how important it is to make sure that your websites show up quickly even on a mobile device that might have a slow connection. And again, always going back to brand reputation, it's making sure that users can trust your website and ultimately return and use it more often. And I'll turn it over to Rebecca.
Thank you, Graham. That was so informative. Thank you for walking us through that. I especially appreciate that you gave the view of the back-end editing. I know when I talk to clients, those are always key. And it is fantastic that there is like a sandbox back there. They can make the edits and it isn't published until they choose to publish it. That is just a question I've had often. So really love the ease of use and that sandbox type environment. We're going to look again at AI visibility and why it's important. So when people are doing a search, maybe they're doing a search like, does my kid have strep throat? Google or whatever search engine you happen to be on is going to pull in a lot of information. I know that both Graham and myself say Google a lot. We refer back to that. There is a good reason. Desktop searches, just last year, 90% of them were done on Chrome, which is Google, and 96% were on mobile. And we know that for pediatrics, for most any site now, it is mobile first. So knowing that 96% of our users are using the Chrome, the Google experience, that is where we spend a lot of our time to make sure that you have the knowledge you need, that we're doing what we need in the back end so that you can be seen. So part of that AI visibility is what comes up when we're doing a search. And like I said, before it used to do search slightly different, where maybe you would get a box in the right with a good answer, or it would have, a few, like a sponsored ad and then a few answers. But often now when you're searching, it says AI overview or AI summary and gives a bunch of information. And we want to make sure that you're being seen. So we go beyond just having a website. Every page is built with SEO in mind so that Google understands what services you offer, the locations that you're at. This also helps both organic and paid search campaigns perform better, and it gets you mentioned in those AI overviews. So Google added AI overviews to its search engine to provide users with faster, more concise summaries of information. People want info, they want it fast. And then there's usually links to relevant web pages, which we want you to show up on. This feature is going to improve the search experience at offering that quick overview. And when your website is built correctly, everything else is going to perform better. So we're always looking at that. Part of pulling in that data is how the schema markup or structured data is on your website, and it helps search engines like Google to understand the content's meaning. So not just the text, but what is the context meaning behind it. And so we use things like headers, header 1, 2, 3 through header 5. So we're telling Google what's important on each page. And then on the back end for schema markup, going deeper into that as we can split up that content easier for search. FAQs are really important. So whether the FAQ is listed on your Google Business profile or whether it's listed on your website, it doesn't matter. It is important because it breaks down the information into brief and clear explanations of services, and AI summaries, they can quickly pull that information out. So for example, if you had an FAQ or a section there and you're talking about newborn care, you might say, first-time parent, we see you in the hospital and we offer lactation support when you come to our office. So you're giving some details of services. You've asked a question because that's how Google can also grab that information out. You might want to highlight sick visits. So you could start at 6 visits, same-day appointments for fever, cough, and ear infections. Call today. Parents want to know if their kiddo is sick, can we get in same day? So all of the content that we're working on for visibility, it reinforces local authority as well. Whether it's on your About Us page, your Welcome page, it's good to have something in there about location. It pulls you up in local search. So it might be looking for a pediatrician in Denver, Colorado. Our team offers same-day sick visits and newborn care. So there are things that we can do to help you with all of that. Part of that Google, when it uses its search, it's a Search Generative Experience, SGE. And so you can see here just on the slide some of the things it's pulling. We spoke briefly about map earlier, but your location details are key. And we want to make sure that is correct, not just on your website, also directories, Google Business Profile, Apple Connect is great for Business Connect, also Bing Places, lots of places to make sure that is all the same. Also important to have those regular updates. As Graham showed you, it is easy to pop into the back end of your website, add a post, add some news, update any information that's going around. Maybe you want to put a news item up saying for back to school, maybe your practice is helping kids in the community with backpacks if they don't have money for their supplies. Maybe you want to really put the information out there as well as we're going into sports, that sports physicals are different at your local Target at CVS versus what they're going to get if they come in for a sports physical at your office, because it's an inclusive well visit. There is so much more that is covered, and you know that kiddo and can do a much better job than them walking in for a 5-minute physical somewhere else. So list that on your website, put it on social so that that information can be seen. Let's look a little bit at Google reviews here. I don't know if that changed on the slide deck. It might have. There we go. Thank you, Graham. So if you would like to deep dive here on Google reviews, we have a whole webinar just that we spend on why are reviews important? How can you increase them? Why are these looked at? I know this can be a sensitive area. Some people want to ignore it. You just can't ignore reviews. They really are key. If you have not done this yet, you probably hear us saying this again and again. We're consistently trying to get practices to sign up, but please make sure that you do own your Google Business Profile. It is easy to do. We cannot do that for you. It is something you'll click in and do that. If you need our help to walk alongside you, we can offer assistance there. But then, like I said, there are other places that you do want to claim. They're all free to do that. But speaking on Google reviews, when you go into your Google business profile, you can easily make edits. You want to update this. This is very important to Google. Google promotes Google. So you can add the FAQs we talked about. That is structured data that Google's going to pull from. You can update your own pictures, your hours. You might have summer hours versus winter hours. When you're looking, also make sure, as Graham mentioned, that your website is listed with a secure URL. So it should start HTTPS. If you don't see the S, just go to your website, click and copy that link and put it in, because again, we want to refer people to a secure site. That's a very quick and easy thing to update. We suggest, whenever possible, respond to reviews, both positive and negative. If you do watch the webinar we did on this, we go into detail on how to respond to reviews. You do need to stay HIPAA compliant, but also seek your legal counsel. If legal counsel has said they don't want you responding, please follow that information. But we do have info on how to stay compliant and still respond to those reviews in a positive way. We never want to start a fight online, but we do want to dissipate any anger and let them know we see you, we hear you. We can't really discuss this online. Please call the office. So reviews are key. People are looking at that, but AI is looking at it too. Reviews are a part of your AI overview when those summaries come through. This was kind of exciting. This happened just here in July. We've always known social media is important, but starting in July, now we're pulling into AI Summary your social media. So it really does matter what you're posting. We want that consistent drumbeat of posts going out daily. It really makes a difference. When your parents, when we said, 78% of those parents are looking at your social before they make a decision, it does influence them. And we know that that is a full-time job. No one has that kind of time. I do have some practices. Kudos to them. They've hired a full-time marketing person to come in and just watch their social. If you don't have the resources or time for someone to full-time do your social media, reach out. We are really good at this. We have a solution called Social Savvy. We will post daily for you. Just a couple weeks ago, Lucy and I sat down for a webinar and we walked through, what does that look like? Why is it important? Again, at the end in our survey, there'll be a place for some comments. If you'd like us to send you a link on any of these, just on websites, just reviews, or just social, or all of those, let us know. We'll send those links out and you can deep dive into each of these subjects individually. But just wanted to bring it top of mind. People used to think, oh, it's just Facebook or Instagram. Now it's part of that AI summary, so it becomes that much more important what you post. It is global. It's going to be seen as part of your search. It's seen as part of your brand. The more your brand is out there, it builds trust. It does build loyalty with your current parents, but also when one of your parents shares that post, you have a whole new audience, a whole new group of people that are now being exposed to the great things you're doing in your community. And we love that. So we'd love to share more about that and the importance of it. What next? What is important to do next in this? The next step, let's look at your website. Again, in the survey in the end, there's going to be a place if you want us to do a free audit of your website to look through, look at page speed, look at the type of visibility that you're getting, your SEO health. We want to look at that with you and see what can we do better. If your site, like Graham said, has not been built within the last couple of years, probably time for a new redesign. Code changes so fast. And so we want to make sure you're up to date on the platform for your greater visibility and that your website is healthy. So please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a moment and go through some questions. If you put those in the question section, we would love to take a moment and answer all of those. Again, at the end, we want your feedback. Just like Google reviews are important, hearing from you is really important to us. It helps us to do better next time as well and deliver what you need. We want to hear from you on what other subjects are important to you, will help your practice grow and thrive, so we make sure we can deliver that content timely to you. Doris or Cindy, do you see any questions up there we can dive into?
Yes, hi Rebecca, can you hear me?
I can, thank you for jumping on, Doris.
Absolutely. We've had a couple of questions come in. I know that we're hitting up on time, but I do want to get a couple of them over to you, and then we can always follow up with any questions that weren't asked after the webinar. The first one that came in was, what do I do if someone else has claimed my Google business profile?
Really good question. Please reach out on the survey too. We can give you some content to help you. If it is your business, you can prove it's your business. There's different ways that Google will ask you to prove. It might be with a video, calling the business, that you can reclaim it. And there are steps to do that that are just laid out. And we'd be happy to walk alongside with you.
Okay. The next question is, I already have a website, but not an SEO package. I don't know if that means that they have one with us or not, or with somebody else. I think they're referring to if they have a website that was not built by Remedy, can they add an SEO package to their website?
That's a fantastic question. So we'd love to do an audit of your site. For SEO in particular, we only will take on search engine optimization for a practice when we have built their site, because so much of SEO is dependent upon the platform it's built on, the code, what we can change on the back end. So we would love to make sure that all of that foundation is set correctly, and then the SEO is much more effective. Part of SEO is social media. You do not need to have a website with us to take advantage of Social Savvy and adding that to your outreach in your community. We can do your social media for you regardless of any other service we have. And then part of your SEO is your reviews. You can also use Just Review Builder with us. So even if you use other services somewhere else, we can come in and help boost your visibility through reviews.
Okay. Another question is, there is a practice nearby that is often confused with ours, and we end up getting negative reviews for that practice. What is the best way to handle that?
That is tough. You do have to put in a complaint through Google, and you have to submit it to say they're not a parent or a patient in the practice. If it can't be proven, sometimes those are very hard to get rid of. Again, if you put that just in the survey, we'll send a link out to you that gives you some instructions on how to combat a bad review that is actually not for your practice. On the other side, I know this is not what was asked, but I do get asked this a lot. What if it was a bad review, they really are a patient, but the practice disagrees with what they said? Freedom of speech. They are allowed to say whatever they want, but it is really important, I believe, then to respond to that review so that people know that you've seen it, and then responding in a healthy way to it, staying HIPAA compliant, not fighting with them, but offering to have them call and talk with you and take it offline.
Thanks, Rebecca. And I think we have time for one more question before we wrap, because I know we are a little bit over, and I want to thank everybody for staying on a little bit past 12:45. But the last question is, if you build a new site for our practice, what is the downtime between taking down our old site and getting the new site visible online?
That is such a good question. There shouldn't be any downtime. So as long as you can stay with your current company as a month to month, then you can do that. If for some reason that is not an option, then we'll put up a splash page for you. That's like a one page where we'll have your logo, your welcome message, some basic information of how they can contact the office. But on that splash page, we're still making sure that you have some online presence while your site's being built. For site build out, if you do a custom design with us, meaning you work with a website designer, they're coming up with what the site's going to look like just for your practice, that can take 4 or 5 months to put that up. A quicker option is our template website. We have many templates to choose from. We know what parents are looking for. They're really fantastic, and a solution that can go up in 6 to 8 weeks. So really the content's the same, it's built on the same platform. The only difference is, do you want a custom design that you really have all the say into what that is going to look like and all the structure? Or would you like to use something that we've already designed and then you plug your information in, and that's much quicker.
Okay, I think that's it for now, Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank you. So we do have some resources. You'll get this as well. So take a peek at the resources. And we really want to say thank you for joining us today. We know you all have busy schedules. We really appreciate your time and we appreciate hearing from you. Take care and have a great week.